Yudalad. If one heated an oven with cumin of truma and baked in it, the bread is permitted, since there is no taste but only the aroma of cumin. If fenugreek fell into wine vat of Tamura and Maisasheni, or Maisasheni, if the seed was sufficient to impart a flavor but not the stalk, if one of the seventh year of vineyard kalayim or hegdish, if the seed and wood impart flavor. If one had bundles of fenugreek or vineyard kilayim, they must be burned. If he had bundles of stubble fenugreek, he must beat them and calculate how much seed they contain and separate from the seed, but he need not separate from the stalks. But if he separated, he must not say, I shall beat and take the stalks and give the seeds, but he must give the stalks with the seeds. Hey.
Okay. Zayse chulin. Okay, olives. Regular chulin olives. Shekavashanim zayse truma. Oops, he pickled them with the truma olives. Now, let's assume that you know what the difference is between them. That let's say they were green olives and black olives that were pickled together, and you know that you can separate. So now you can take out all the truma olives, and you know that you've got chulin olives left behind. Now, what's the din on the chulin olives? Did they absorb a taste of truma? Okay. Petsue chulin im petsue truma. If they were both broken open, like let's say you'd cut them open to take the pips out,
Right.
and
Right.
now they were pickled together. Petsue chulin im shleime truma. What happens if you have broken chulin or with whole olives of truma, or b'mei truma, or even if the brine itself or made truma, um, what just get that so just get that subtlety over there. What's made truma? It's water that was that olive that truma olives had previously been pickled in. So you just reuse the same water of truma olives. In all these cases, it's asur. Aval shleime chulin. If the chulin olives were whole and unbroken, im petsue truma, but the truma olives were broken. Even if the truma olives were broken, and needless to say, if they were all whole, um, then we don't say that there's enough taste in there to affect the chulin olives and the motzar. Okay, dag tameh. You have a non-kosher fish, she kavasho im dag tahor, that got pickled in the same jar as a kosher fish. Call garav shehu machzik sasaim. So let's garav is a big earthenware vessel that they used to pickle fish in. Okay, so if it contains 2 se'ah of liquid, okay, im yesh bo mishkal asara zuz bihuda, or which is a measure of 10 zuz in Yehuda, shehen chamesh salim begalil, which is 5 selah in the Galilee. Dag tamei tiro asur. So then even the brine is prohibited, and obviously your fish is asur. So this is giving us the measure which Kahati helpfully calculates out for us, without taking you through all of the math that he goes, but his bottom line is that it's like 1 in 960. That right? Have I got that? I remember him saying 1 in 960 when I
There's the brine of the unclean fish totals 1/960th.
yeah, 1/960th. Okay. So even such a small amount, that's we're talking about pickles, and pickles have got a strong flavor, and it's all going to be aser. Rabbi Yehuda Omer revius b'sasaim. He says the measure of iser is 1 revius, that's a quarter log in 2 se'ah. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda's measure. So a quarter log. A log is a revi'is hin, which is another 4, and a hin to a se'ah. What is a hin to a se'ah? Oh, I can't remember. Revi'is says b'sa'asayim. Echad mimea v'tishim v'shnayim. So his measure is 1 in 192, basically. Okay, and
Okay.
this is Rabbi Yossi Omer echad mishisha sarbo. He says 1/16 is enough to move at all. Okay. Chagavim tameim, non-kosher locusts that were pickled. They were pickled with kosher locusts. Lo paslu es tiram. They haven't even puzzled the the brine.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, what this is saying is that locusts don't have much taste. They don't spread much taste, and it's not even going to affect the brine. Hey, Rabbi Tzadok al tzircha gavim tmeim shehu tahor. And Rabbi Tzadok, we actually just saw this in Eduyos not too long ago. That's one of the things that Rabbi Tzadok gave testimony about. That his Masara was that the brine of non-kosher locusts is even mutar.
Just the thought of it, just the
Just the
whole.
thought of it. Yes, just the thought of it. Okay, but different times. Okay, Chespace.
Terumos, I have the olive. You have base?
Yeah, I've got base. Let me check
Right.
on the schedule just to be sure. Um, yeah, base.
Thanks. Okay, sorry. Um, and all of them, if they had truma in their mouths, Reb Eliezer says they may swallow it. But Reb Judah says they must spit it out. If they said to him, "You have become unclean," or the truma has become unclean, Reb Eliezer says he may swallow it. But Reb Yeshua says he must spit it out. You were unclean, or the truma was unclean, or it became known that it was tevel or ma'aser rishon from which truma had not been taken, or ma'aser sheni or hektish that had not been redeemed, or he tasted the taste of a bug in his mouth. He must spit it out. If one was eating a cluster of grapes and he entered from the garden into the courtyard, Reb Eliezer says he may finish it. But Reb Yeshua says he may not finish it. If it became dark on the eve of the Shabbos, and Reb Eliezer says he may finish it, Reb Yeshua says he may not finish it. If truma wine was found uncovered, it must be poured away, and needless to say, if it is cooling. Three liquids are forbidden if they remain uncovered: water, wine, and milk. But all the other liquids are permitted. How long must they remain so they become forbidden? The time it takes for a reptile to come from a nearby place and drink. Okay. And oh, okay, Svius. One page. Svius. Okay, we have Olive. They laid down an important principle regarding the seventh year. Whatever is designated as food for humans may not be used to make poultice for humans, or needless to say, for cattle. But whatever is not designated as food for humans may be used to make poultice for humans, but not for cattle. And whatever is not designated as food for either human or cattle, if one intended it as food for both humans and cattle, it is subject to the stringency which applies to humans and to the stringency which applies to cattle. If he intended it for use as wood, then it as wood. For insistent slavery, hyssop, or time. Seventh year may be used for food, drink, or ungent, to eat what is normally eaten. To use as ungent, I can't get that right. Ungent, what is normally used as ungent. One may not use wine or vinegar as ungent, and may use it as ungent. Likewise with truma and ma'aser sheni, the seventh year is less stringent in that it may be used for kindling lights. And one may not sell 70 produce by measure, weight, or number, nor figs by number and vegetables by weight. Rebbe Shammai says also not in bundles, but Rebbe Hillel says that which is usually tied in bundles in the home may be tied up in bundles in the market, such as leeks and milkweed. Okay. And we have brachos. Brachos. Okay. Gimel. Beit Shammai says one wipes his hands with a napkin and places it on the table. Basila says on the cushion. Beit Shammai says the room is swept first and afterwards the hands are washed. Basila says the hands are washed and then the room is clean. Beit Shammai says light, grace, spices, and Havdalah. Beit Hillel says light, spices, grace, and Havdalah. Beit Shammai says who has created the light of the fire, and Beit Hillel says who creates the lights of the fire.
Okay.
And on to Oleus. Oleus, we have bait. A perforated slab is placed on top of an oven whose opening is sealed. If there is tumah beneath or above the slab, everything becomes tameh. Everything for what is directly above the inside of the oven, which remains sahur. If there is a tumah above the inside of the oven, whatever is directly above the tumah until the sky becomes tameh. A board is placed on top of an old oven and protrudes a handbreadth in two directions, but not on the other side. If there is tumah on this side, utensils that are on the other side remain tahor, and Reb Rossi declares them tameh. The batak does not spread tumah. If there is a ledge, Reb Eliezer says it does not spread tumah. Reb Yeshua says we view the batak as if it does not exist, and the ledge above it spreads tumah. There is a shield of the leg of a crib that protruded through the ceiling of the lowest story of a house. If the hole is as big as a handbreadth, everything becomes tamei, and if not, we count the way we used to count for tuma from a corpse.
Okay.
And going along to Bozara. Okay, base gimel. These items of idolaters are prohibited, and the prohibition is a prohibition against all benefit. The wine, the vinegar of idolaters that was initially wine, and hydronic earthenware, and heart-pierced skins. Reb Shimon ben Gamil says when its incision is round, it is prohibited. When it is oblong, it's permitted. Mida is being brought into a place of idol worship is permitted, but that which goes out is prohibited because it is like a sacrifice of the dead. These are the words of Rabbi Akiva. With those who go on a pagan pilgrimage, it is forbidden to transact act business, but with those returning, it is permitted. Okay. If there were skin bottles of idolaters or the jars, and the wine of a Jew was kept in them, it is literally that they are prohibited, and its prohibition is a prohibition against all benefit. These are the words of Rav Meir, but they could come and say it literally is the prohibition. It is not a prohibition against all benefit. The grape seeds of the grape fields of idolaters are prohibited, and the prohibition is prohibition against all benefit. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. The comments say when moist they're forbidden, when dry they're permitted. The muras and the cheeses of base yakai are idolaters are prohibited, and prohibition is prohibition against all benefit. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. But they can come and say their prohibition is not a prohibition against all benefits. Okay, one more. Rabbi Yehuda said, Rabbi Mishael posed a question to Rabbi Yeshua while they were traveling. He said to him, why did they prohibit the cheeses of the idolaters? He answered him, because they curdle it with the remnant of an unslaughtered carcass. He said to him, is it not the remnant of a burnt offering more strictly forbidden than the remnant of an unslaughtered carcass? Yet they said, a Kohen who is not fastidious may gulp it that raw. And though they did not agree with him, nevertheless, even though they said, one may not benefit, nor but one does not commit milila. He then answered them, because they curdle it with the remnant of a calf sacrificed to idols. He said to them, if so, why did they not prohibit it for all benefit? He then diverted him to another matter. He said to him, Yishmael, my brother, how do you read the verse? Ki tovim de kocha miyayin, or ki tovim de dayak, and he replied, mi tovim de dayak. Said he to him, it is not so, as its fellow verse demonstrates regarding the arak shemenecha tovim. Okay.
Okay. And Yavamas.
How do they release their co-wives? If a man's daughter or any one of these forbidden relations was married to his brother and he had another wife as well and he died, just as his daughter is released, so too is her co-wife. If his daughter's co-wife went and married his second brother and he had also another wife and then he died, just as his daughter's co-wife is released, so too is her co-wife's co-wife, even if there are her 100. How is it that if they died, their co-wives are permitted? If a man's daughter or any one of his forbidden relatives was married to his brother, and he also had another wife and his daughter died, or was divorced and then his brother died, her co-wife is permitted. Anyone who was able to refuse but did not do so, her co-wife requires chalitza but is prohibited from Hebron. 6 forbidden relations are more stringent than these. They are married, for they are married to others. Their co-wives are permitted: his mother, father's wife, father's sister, paternal sister, father's brother's wife, and paternal brother's wife. Beis Shammai permit the co-wives to the brothers, but Beis Hillel forbids them. If they perform chalitza, Beis Shammai disqualifies them from marrying into the priesthood, but Beis Hillel qualifies them. And if they were taken in Yibum, Beis Shammai qualifies them, but Beis Hillel disqualifies them. Even though these prohibited and these permitted, these qualified and these disqualified and these qualified, Beis Shammai did not refrain from marrying women of Beis Hillel or Beis Hillel from Beis Shammai. Despite all the things that they judged Tahara and all the things that they Tamei, did not refrain from going to each other's utensils for purposes of Tahara, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great Shabbos and good Purim. Enjoy.
You too. Brother from Purim. Good Shabbos. See you Sunday.
Thank you too much.